Chris, I think I said it on the way over here that that's the best 90 minutes we've seen from your team since you took over.
Well, yeah. Well, we had some exciting games, didn't we, last season? I mean, like, when we played Cardiff away and Cardiff at home. But in terms of a league performance, I'd agree with you. You've been here a long time, Andy, but the lads represented a real proud, honest, hard-working performance today for the supporters, and that's what I was really pleased with.
It was from the first minute, and then you talk about character as well as the good football. There was a lot right today.
Yeah, brilliant. Very dominant 43 minutes. Colchester's first shot on target, they get a corner and score from the corner. But in terms of that, the way we set up, the way we pressed, the hunger the players showed, the skill they showed in the last third, the goals we scored. But I was really pleased with the discrepancy within the game, because obviously with Colchester fighting hard, they've got some great players, well-run club. And they got it back to 2-2 and they fancied it, out of nothing really, which can happen in this level of football. But they stood strong, the boys, and we had constant pressure, corners, free kicks, shots, one-on-ones. And to be honest with you, I wanted us to make it a little bit easier for me for the last 10 minutes, but we didn't. But 3-2 is a solid result.
4 out of their 5 games have been draws, so they have been stubborn, but we were carving through them that first half and second half once we've got ourselves settled down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, them chances, Gav Riley's chance is so close. John Mellish, everybody's, I say everybody, there's only directors allowed in, but I can hear them out, they were celebrating. It's gone in, it scrapes the post. It's a shame we didn't score more, but I'm asking for more goals and we scored 3.
We've got Louis doing interviews elsewhere, we'll be talking to him, but that's a great thing for him to get his first league goal, and we'll tell him that he meant it.
Well, I had him at half-time because I thought John Mellish got a little nick on his head, but he bit at that actually. So he didn't touch it. So, I don't know. Maybe he's got bonus in his contract, I'm not sure.
Great way to start though, wasn't it? It was a good tone anyway, but it just carried it on for us.
Oh yeah, it's all down to hard work. You watch these great teams playing great football, on TV. I'm a big admirer of Liverpool and the way they play. I love the energy and the full-backs and the front three and the midfield, and it just comes through unbelievable professionalism and hard work. And if the best guys are doing it, why can't we try and achieve what we can at our level?
The confidence just seemed to blossom and grow, and the goal, Mellish's goal, came from that difficult chance as well.
Very difficult, but if you're constantly on the move and keep getting in the box, I weren't the best of football players, but I got renowned for scoring goals and from them sort of situations that win games, and it can take your career to high places, and that's what John does. Well, he does now he plays in midfield. Just
before the break, there's that horrible corner sort of pinging around, it's going everywhere and it ends up in the back of the net. Does that change the team talk?
Yeah, but I said to the boys, if we got it, arrive at 1:30. If you're a goal up against Colchester at home, that's a great position to be in, because you've got to respect your opponents, and they're very good. I said I don't think they'll win the game. I think we have a chance of losing it, because there was a little bit of panic after the goal. I know there was only a couple of minutes left before half time, but even the setup for the retake of the goal on the halfway line, we didn't even get that right. It's amazing what a goal does to psychology. But we settled down at half-time, came out strong, but they scored a penalty. But we continued to have waves of attacks, and we should have won that game a bit more comfortably.
Don't know if you felt the same, but even when that penalty went in, because we'd started the second half so well, it still felt like it was going to be okay in the end.
Well, maybe I have to have a drink what you're drinking at half-time. I didn't feel like that, Andy. I didn't feel like that. I just felt like we deserved the points. The first half performance was good enough to win 3 games. And if you go and blast them and get the goals, the 3, the 4s, your opponents can only but generally give up. We didn't get to 3, we got to 2, and then they get 1 just before about half time. So it becomes a complete different psychology. But the first half performance was excellent.
I mentioned that character word, and that's what happened after that penalty kick. We could have crumbled. You see teams do that.
Yeah, and it was a full team performance, including a last-minute save from Farms. But it was the only ball my centre-halves didn't really win in first contact. They let it bounce, and they got on the inside track. George did great not to bring him down for a penalty and put pressure on the shot. But ironically, Aaron, who wins most things, he missed the header, but he made up for it with the support of Farms on the save to kick the ball out of the box. Well, he got fouled, didn't he, doing it?
You mentioned traits. We've created so much through that 90 minutes. We've restricted them to so little through that 90 minutes. That's not a bad place to be.
Well, yeah, Brandon's mad on my son on the internet, and he sent me a video text last night at Sky Sports talking about we've had something like the second most shots in League Two on goal, and we've conceded the least amount of shots at our goal. Well, that's just a combination for success, isn't it? So what we've got to do now is make sure we understand what we're doing. Obviously I do, but players need to understand that, and try and make victories easier, improve while you're still winning. But, you know, football, it can soon bite you on your backside, I know that.
They're on the training pitch, we can hear them now in the background.
Yeah.
Doing a training session, Chris. What is it you're building here?
Well, there's footballers playing football. The lads haven't played. We use the light before the clocks go back. We've got good facilities till we get the floods. So we've got to utilise them, haven't we, till it gets to that point where, you know, you're scratching your head for a training ground. But at the moment, we've got good facility, and the players, they respect the team that started. And like I said before, from my personal point of view, you know, and I know he's fully part of the 3 points, but it was very difficult yesterday telling a player that played very well at Port Vale he's not playing today, and that's Gavin Riley. And he comes on, he was very professional, he got his shots off, he did great, he supported the team, and, you know, Jack Armour didn't make the bench today. So it's them little things where, you know, players have to stick together now in terms of them decisions.
Doesn't matter how early in the season it is, we're in the top 7. That shows us that things are going well.
Well, it's better than the bottom, isn't it? The points tally's been very strong, hasn't it? We got, I think it was 1.6 points per game for the last 10 games before lockdown. We lost 2. I think we won 4, drawn 4, lost 2. Obviously that points per game has gone up since we've been able to recruit more players from January to the summer. But it doesn't mean anything. It can soon go away. We've got to look after it. And
these cardboard people behind us, they're swelling in their ranks. What a shame that they're not here for real to see this, because there is some really exciting stuff going on.
Yeah, there's some faces there, isn't there?
All very good looking.
Especially the cat.
Who's that? Look, there's a dog there. Who's that? No, it's great. There's a cat as well. Should be chasing that, John, shouldn't he? No, it's great. Obviously, that's all we can do as supporters, isn't it? I support football. I have a lot of empathy and thoughts towards Liverpool because of the way they play. But, you know, I've never actually really supported a football team. So, because you've played the game, but the support is, you know, it's ingrained in it from probably the baby grow they get in Carlisle colours, and that's it, isn't it? So I understand that, and all I want is our team to represent that in their actions, that honesty, the hard work, and the will to win, and the boys are showing it at the moment.
Transfer window shut yesterday, Chris. How close did you get to any others other than Mika?
Well, very close, but it's unfair to speak about others, but yeah. And it's funny how things change, because I did meet players back in the summer, and they wanted financially different things that ain't, like, basically too expensive for us. And as time goes on, that changes, but we've recruited in that time. So it's then like the obvious answer that you want to try and give everybody becomes almost can't do it. And then you speak to other players, and I spoke to 2 on the Thursday, and one was done. He rang me to say, I'm coming, love the chat, can't wait to get there. And then we get an email through Sarah, obviously to David, saying the club have just said no, and they've allowed me to speak to the player. But it's probably because they've tried to sign players and something's not dropped in at their end. That's what it'll be. It's like the housing market. So if it clicks in, you're in. But we clicked out and then managed to do really well getting Micah, because he's an exciting young player who's here till January, and it covers us for Ethan and competition for places.
And as you said the other day, that the pool of free players who haven't got anything at the moment, they're still there.
They are, but it's vital if we do that the players are match fit, which is difficult for them. You know, we're I don't know what's the date today. We're a couple of weeks off November. They've not played since March. It's all right doing your running and your gym work, and it's so different to playing. Ask our players how it took 3 or 4 games to feel like they feel today. You've got to play, and they're not. So you got to. It's a big gamble because they're injury prone. They're not in rhythm. But if some come available that fit our profile, I'm sure David will help support me on it.
Last one from me, Chris. Tough start to the season, and you refused to wilt. You stood by your beliefs and what was happening. How proud do you feel right now?
I feel good for the players. You know, it's good. I said on Thursday, didn't I, before the alarm went off, and you asked some dodgy questions, but I just feel good for the lads because I know how hard they work, I know how committed they are. You know, a lot live Lancashire way, a lot have moved to the area. It's hard going up and down the M6, so make it worth something. You know, we've got to make sure that we make it worth. We've got to do it, so let's make it worth something.